All right, welcome everyone. Welcome. I'm Chris Ripley of the Strategic Marketing Group, and today's presentation is going to be the power of the inbox, tips and tricks for successful email marketing. So we're going to go ahead and get started here. If I can click things along, something will do. There we go. And there I am. There's a little information about me. If you'd ever like to get in touch with me, there's my email, cripley at smg2.com. You can also call me if you'd like, and we'll go to our website at the end so you can see how to get a hold of me. Facebook page, we're at about 600 on Facebook, and we post pretty much every day and mostly twice every day. So if you'd like to sign up for our Facebook page, that would be great. And follow me on Twitter at Chris Ripley. So that's a little information about me. We're going to have a couple of quizzes as we go through the presentation to get a little bit of audience involvement. So we're going to start with our first quiz, and I'll tell you, it's me on the right hand side, the guy with the sunglasses on, that's Chris Ripley, who's doing your presentation today. And I'm wondering if anybody who knows who the guy on the left hand side of the screen with the hat on and the white jacket, if anybody guess somebody, you have to guess because we're trying out the little poll thing here. So, oh, I got to click launch the poll. Pardon me. So there we go. So there's the poll. So everybody vote just for the heck of it. If you don't know, guess all these guys are famous people with hats on. And yeah, somebody knows. All right, cool. All right, yeah. So let's see. We got a few more people who haven't voted. We're at 67%. It's funny. I did a good job here of bringing in some other people that might be it, although Truman Capote I think is probably no longer with us. So I'm going to wrap it up. I think one person hasn't voted, but there we go, 100%, and this is great. I'm going to close the poll. Does it let it? Yeah, I'm going to share the results, and there we go. And the winner, it's funny, it's a third, and the winner is Michael Gerber. Michael Gerber, who wrote The E-Myth, and a book that I have to say that I've probably sold a couple hundred copies for him. And if you haven't read The E-Myth, I'll type it, The E-Myth, and it's kind of all one word. Uh, if you haven't read the E-Myth, I encourage anybody who's a business owner, thinks about wanting to be a business owner, anybody who's an entrepreneur certainly should read the E-Myth and read it a couple of times. I'm actually thinking I'm going to read it again right, in the next month or two, put it high on my list again. But Tom Wolfe was another good guess, and F. Scott Fitzgerald, I don't know where he stands these days. So you can check that out on Wikipedia. But I took that was taken on Wednesday in Phoenix, and I got to meet him, and I got to hear him speak as well. So that was pretty cool. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and get started. Let me click on there. So first impressions matter. We all know this, no matter what. I don't know if I thought about that after putting the slide on there, that I hope I made a good first impression with everybody, as that being one of the first things that I'm going to be showing you guys. But we'll have other quiz questions coming up as well. So do you want your first impression to be wilted, or do you want it to be vibrant and really show off the best of your business? Thinking about emails, look at the one on the left there and then look at the one on the right, and which one looks better, which one has a better opportunity to sell to you. Where do you think you're going to get the best results? So that's not going to be a quiz question. That's more of a rhetorical question. But generally, it would be the one on the right. Now, some may argue that getting images through spam filters is tougher than getting plain text through. But you know that I think in today's world that's not as much of an issue because we're able to scan content and look at it that way. So you can see the one on the right. It just kind of looks kind of boring. I just wanted to. I just okay. Let me check here. We gotta. There we go. I saw a question come up, so I'm assuming that everybody's hearing okay and all that because of the quiz. That was kind of my way of doing it, but I saw that there was a little. I get these little, like caution signs that pop up on the screen. You guys can't see them, but anyway. So here we go. And look at the other one. And I was talking to somebody about this who was using their Outlook to do emails, and here we have, all the names of all the people that they're sending it to. So at least if you're going to do that, try to blind copy folks so it won't be as obvious what you're doing. So, okay. So, email marketing, delivering professional email communications to an interested audience containing information the recipient finds valuable that look great in any inbox. And we'll get into that. And we're going to talk about making things better in your inbox. And, the cool thing is that the technology has gotten so easy that it's a real easy thing for most anybody to make great looking emails relatively easy. There are tools out there like Canva. If you haven't heard of Canva, Canva.com, or PicMonkey, PicMonkey.com, two places, and there are other ones out there as well. Those are two places you can go where pretty much anybody who can operate a computer can create good looking graphics with fonts, nice fonts and nice pictures and that sort of thing, where, the stock pictures are pretty inexpensive and the fonts flow freely. So, what does email do for your business? Boost repeat business, certainly. I was meeting with a prospect this morning, an attorney who had been in business 3 or 4 years. She really didn't have a list. And that's going to be one of the first things that we have to work on, because that's where you can go and get repeat business. Like I said, I was at a conference over the last couple of days, so I'm fresh with new ideas. Or, in marketing, sometimes it's just the old ideas rehashed. And one of the best ways to get business, I listened to a whole hour-long keynote presentation about your best market to go after right away is the people who've bought from you already. They know you, they trust you, they've bought from you before, they've made the plunge, so they're not afraid to take the chance again. And if you can let them know you've got something new or you've got something on sale or anything, it's going to be worth sending them an email to let them know. It can create and increase awareness. Emails are important reinforcement of the brand. This is an attorney, and as an attorney, you're going to operate off of a lot of referrals. But what you want to do is you want to make sure that the people on your list think of you as the top of mind choice when they hear anybody who needs an attorney, and really look at it that way. So you need to keep in front of people on a regular basis to do that. And I'm going to throw out a question here now, and there's only going to be 3 questions, but I'm just curious on this, and I want to see. We're talking about creating and increasing awareness, and how an email newsletter can do that for you. So I'd like to know, how often do you send your email newsletter? Pick one of the following, and I'm just curious. And if it's less than monthly, if it's sporadic, choose the last one. And I didn't put none. So I would say, if you're not doing it at all, put it in the less than monthly category, and we'll see. Okay, so almost everybody has voted. A couple more people need to vote. So if you haven't voted on this one, let me see here. I can look. Just want to see. Okay, so yep, I think we got, yeah, there's one more person who hasn't voted, but that's okay. I'm gonna wrap it up. We'll close it, and we'll put the results up on the screen, and we can see that 20% of the people are doing it weekly, 50% monthly, and 30% less than monthly. And I would say generally for, gosh, almost any business that I would really try to do it weekly. And then if you can't do it weekly, I think monthly is fine. Doing it, so 70% of you guys are in there. It's nice to do it weekly. And very honestly, we certainly have our own opinions about how often you'd like to get emails from people. But if you're sending out valuable content, generally people are going to be receptive to that on a weekly basis. And it's not that complicated to do. You don't need to send out a lot of content, but if you were to send out a newsletter that had 3 articles in it with links to the articles and maybe a feature product of the week or a feature service of the week, you can do it weekly, and you can probably sit down and pull that together in a couple hours a month, very honestly, and you will get better results. I had a client that for a long time only wanted to do it monthly, and finally this year, we've been clients now for 3 years, and finally this year I convinced them to do it weekly, and they're amazed at the increase in results they're getting from their email newsletter. So I would say if you can work on getting it weekly, really try to do that. And if you're doing it less than monthly, come up with a plan to squeeze it in. And hopefully today we'll be able to go through some of that, and you'll come up with some ideas on how you can do it more often. I went to a conference. This is almost 2 years ago now, but I'm sure that what the results were very similar. He tried to find what the speaker was speaking about, trying to find the point where people would get turned off by his emails. And he found, and this is in the information marketing world, so it's people are a lot more receptive to emails, but he found that he could send like 36 a month before he saw a drop off in the open rates and that sort of thing. And what he was saying to us was that there was a real opportunity to email a lot more. And that what happens is if you email more and people opt out, chances are those people weren't going to purchase from you anywhere. And what you're left with is an extremely loyal list. So I'm not advocating more than once a week, although that's what we do, and it's been successful for us. Like I said, weekly is good. It can drive revenue and profit. The easiest way to reach people, email marketing, without question, has the highest return on investment of any type of marketing that you can do. And that if you're not vigorously going after capturing customers and prospects emails, you need to do it because it'll be the most valuable marketing time that you will spend. And again, there's no doubts about that. You need to be able to do that. So you need to harness the power of the inbox. This is what we're going to talk about real quickly here. Why email marketing? I think I've alluded to that already. Harnessing the power of the email, of the inbox, grow a healthy list, great content, mobile friendly, beautiful, get them opened, track your results, and then we'll put it all together. So what's the number one app on all cell phones? email. More than half of the emails are opened on a mobile device. Those of you who have constant contact know this. You can see this in the metrics that you get when you send an email. You can see, we see 5545 is the number that we see now. 55 opened on a mobile device, and 45 on desktop device. So the next statement, more people own a cell phone than own a toothbrush. So not going to say any more about that. Email works everywhere. It's really important to understand that we have this natural tool that we can use to try to get people to learn more about our business. People check their email regularly on smartphones. When as I said, I was at a conference and I got back late last night and I prepaid for my parking at the airport because you save a couple of bucks a day. And I didn't even print the email. It used to be when I traveled, I would print out my boarding passes and the hotel reservation and the super shuttle ticket and the parking that that I prepay for because I save a few bucks and it's, per day, and it's worth doing. And I would have them all in a folder and they'd be in my briefcase and I'd pass them out as I went. But I used either email or for Southwest, I used my cell phone as the boarding pass, and I didn't have to print out anything. I did it all on my phone. Email over 90% of the time gets delivered. Facebook posts reach just 2% of the fans. Those of you who have been involved in Facebook marketing, I'm sure have seen the deterioration in engagement on the posts that you make. And it's almost like you have to spend money now to market Facebook. Email marketing is 3 times the conversion rate as social media. For every dollar spent on email marketing, $44 average return on investment. So, and these are people that are emailing every week. So, or less, but the more, if it's something that's good, you would want to do it more. Repeat customers buy more. 81% are likely to make additional purchases as a result of targeted emails. They already know you. So if you can touch them more, and if there are brick and mortar businesses on now, I guess I could have asked that question, but if there are brick and mortar businesses on now, especially if you're going into the holidays, you want to increase the velocity of your emails. It's basically, if I can send out more emails, I will get more business. So invest the time in doing that. Consumers are 71% more likely to make a purchase based on social media referrals. 82% of all B2C customers say small businesses, say loyal customers are the number one way to grow their business. And you're going to create much more loyal customers if you use email marketing. The client that I was talking about before that we started doing it weekly, we're also surveying their clients to get more reviews. We have, I think, 30 Google reviews for them right now. They've got, and if you Google, they're a lawn care company. If you Google another lawn care company, you're not going to see any reviews from most of the companies. If you're trying to do it from Outlook, you got a limited number of emails sent at once, no formatting controls, all kinds of potential problems. You can get shut off by your internet service provider if people complain about spam coming from your ISP. It would be from one of those words that go along with with it is the, ISP isn't the one, but whatever it is, from your domain, I guess. So, it gives you the opportunity to automate best practices and make you look great. Beautiful, mobile, responsive, reinforces brand identity, emails addressed to recipient only. You can personalize them. That's very important in getting better results from your marketing and advertising. You can manage lists. People who've bought from you can be separated from the people who haven't bought from you yet, or people that have bought particular things can be segregated if you'd like, and you could target those things. If there's one product that ties in with another product, or you get a new version of an old product, you can email the people that bought the old product and tell them about the new product. You get delivery results and not have to worry about spam compliance. So, how do you harness the power of the inbox? That's what we're really here to talk about. Grow a healthy list. And there's nothing more that I can say about this without screaming it or whatever. And at the end, I'm going to go to my website. I wrote a book, Leverage Your List. It's about a 50-page book. You can read it pretty quickly, but it gives you some great ideas on um, growing your list. So at the end, I'll show you how to do that. You certainly want to ask permission, all the things that you're supposed to be doing. I look at these as basics. You need to do this. Don't be spamming people. Get permission. Let them know what to expect. Include an option to unsubscribe. Let's say if you're sending monthly now, you could even consider trying to, asking the people who receive the email monthly if they would like to see, you're going to start sending it weekly. Would you like to get it weekly, or stick on the monthly list and segregate your lists like that? Post your privacy policy. If you have any questions about what your privacy policy should be, Google will let you use one, I believe, and you can just do a Google search for privacy policy. And obviously there are ones out there that you can use that are relatively generic. Respect the privilege and plan strategically. You don't want to bombard them with baloney. You want to keep it valuable content. And here's some of the other rules thing. I'm just not a big guy on spending time on rules. What can I say? So where to ask should be everywhere. It should be on your website or on social media or in email, anywhere at all that you can ask. If you have, a great way to do it in constant contact is text to join, where you can um, have somebody text a certain keyword to a certain number, and that'll send them. They'll get a text message back with a link where they can go and sign up for your email. So wherever you can ask for it, do it. I do it all the time. If I meet somebody at a networking event, I'll ask them when I get their business card if they would mind if I send them my weekly email newsletter. So QR code on table, on material, sidewalk signs, speaking engagements. It's great to use the text to join at speaking engagements as well. Sign up form on the bill or check if you're a restaurant. That's a great opportunity to ask to join an email list, to have a text to join, to have them engage on your review sites, Fishbowl to collect business cards. Anywhere you think you can do it, ask. Here we go. Here's how we use text to join in constant contact. It shows you how to set up your keyword, and then or you can do it where they can just send the keyword, where they would send the keyword to 22828, and that's going to show up on their phone. Oops, I thought that was. So they'll text that. That'll show up on their phone, and then they'll join the list. So, what should the content be? Ongoing education. Possible VIP preference. We'll let you know of the specials the day before we advertise them in the newspaper, or they go on the radio, or whatever it might be. Insider news or exclusive access, letting people know when new products are coming out before the public knows, things like that. Those are always important. You can give them an ebook, white paper. That's what I was talking about with the prospect I was talking to this morning. She was an attorney, and has 3 different practice areas. And we were talking about writing an ebook for each one of those different areas. Updates on your mission if you're a nonprofit organization or you've set off to try to do particular things in your business. Friends and family discounts. The number one reason why people unsubscribe is irrelevant content. And that goes for anything. We were talking about websites this morning and what Google looks for in your website. 2 important factors are recency, how new the content is. So they're not that keen on 2 or 3-year-old websites that have no new content, and then relevancy is the other thing that they look for. Google's goal, their goal is when you put in what you're looking for in the little box that you find it. And the same would hold true with your email marketing, that you want to make sure that people feel that the content that you're sending to them is worth it. Creating great content. It's not always about you. It's about what you know or what you have access to. Be relevant, like I was saying. One of the things that we get great response from in newsletters in a couple of our auto repair clients is information about recalls. Everybody wants to know about recalls. And whenever there's a big recall on a fairly common car like a Ford Fusion or a Honda Accord or a Chevy pickup truck, something like that, and we put that in the subject line, we get a lot more opens. Figure out how much is enough. That's what we're talking about in the regularity of your email. And usually once a week is good. Pick around the same time of day and same day of the week and put it in there. Turn questions into content. That's a great one, where you have customers that ask questions, and you would answer those questions. Think about it, and just easy ways to do these. Let's say there's a typical question that you get from every customer. If you want, sit down and write it out. That's good content for your email newsletter. Also, it's great content for your blog posts to increase the relevancy on your website. So I'm a big one on repurposing content. A good way to start with that sometimes is to record a video first. And what's a question that you normally get from prospects? Well, answer that question. Do it in a video. You can put that on YouTube. You can put that on Facebook, and it doesn't have to be fancy. Just, hi, I'm Chris Ripley with the Strategic Marketing Group. And one of the questions that I often get from people is, how often should they post on their Facebook page? And I would go into, twice a day and why you should do that and that sort of thing. And that's a video that I can put on Facebook and YouTube. If I send it to somebody that can do a transcription or however you do the transcription, then you've got it as a blog post for your website as well. And it could also be a text post on your Facebook or LinkedIn, and you could publish it on LinkedIn if you have access to LinkedIn publishing. So, content to me, while it, to a lot of people it's daunting, there are somewhat easy ways to create it and then repurpose it in different media to get the most bang for your buck on it. Images as well. We work with a company that does siding and new windows and that sort of thing, and before and afters are great images to use. So write for your audience, not for you. So there's a smiley dog. I think my dog can smile better than that, but maybe I'll change out that picture. That was another picture we had. So write for your audience, not for you. 38% of the people unsubscribe if it's boring. 32% send it to spam if it's not relevant. So understand that as well. You don't want spam complaints, and you want to try to keep your subscriptions, your unsubscribes to a minimum. Here you can see the format that I was talking about, where you've got just a short amount of content and a picture. And this is generally how we format our newsletters that we do for clients. You'll have and it would be a hot link possibly. It could just be text, and that's the end of it. Sometimes it'll have a link in there that'll say to look for more. But I really think that three things is good. You could also throw uh, in coupons if you'd like, and here you can see the research done on this, and after three articles, you see a real um, decline in the number of clicks per link. So, obviously, if you put one in, you put two in, you put three in. We usually, we'll put up to three, and a lot of that becomes too, you like to see what people are clicking on. And from what they click on, we learn what they like more of. So I certainly don't mind having three. But want to know that after three, too many links in there just become a bit confusing. So turn questions into content. I One of the things that I do for clients as well is help them write a book for their business. And everybody wants to write a book. Writing a book for your business, especially if you're in the B2C service world or the B2B world and lots of different things, it's good for me. I just had one of my auto repair company clients write a book, 10, what do we got? What most auto repair shops don't want you to know. So that would be, a real hot button kind of question. So how do I ensure that my pipes won't burst in the winter? 5 ways to protect your pipes from freezing in the winter. Think about these things. One of the things that you'll see in all the content is there's generally a number in there. And people like to see the number. And you'll also see that, more than 10 ways people will get a little bit intimidated by. I'm going to write a book. I'm working on it now that basically is going to be, we're waiting, the number isn't final, but basically 73 different ways that you can market your small business. So that's going to have a bigger number, but it's going to be a book. But in an email, you want to keep that number down, in that 3 to 4 range. Images are content too. If you've got new product, taking pictures of it is a great way to go. I encourage people to do that, and it's probably, maybe one of my biggest frustrations with clients is getting them to do more pictures for me so we can use those both in newsletters, in social media posts, and then we've got about 8 or 10 before and afters right now for our home improvement contractor client. He's a relatively new client. He's only been with us a couple of months. We can make a video out of that as well, and you can just fade in one before and after, that type of thing, and have a little fun with it. And you make a minute or two video, and that can go on Facebook as well. You want to keep it pretty short on Facebook, a minute or less, but that won't be hard to do. It's always easier to edit that way anyway. But, make your pictures clickable, keep the key action above the scroll line, use design wisely, limit choices like we're talking about, how many links. Working with photos, right size, avoid copyright issues. Just don't go to Google and start looking for pictures. Make sure there's a way, and I'm going to take a drink. It's my Marco Rubio moment there. I'm taking a drink. So you want to choose the right size. Oh, copyright issues. There are ways you can ask for, my assistant does this all the time, and this is terrible, that where you have the rights available for pictures, where you can use the pictures. And then you can buy them. We belong to dollarphotoclub.com. And they're able to, we buy pictures for $1. And if you use more, you get 10 in a month. It's $10 a month. And if you use more, you can buy $10 more and that type of thing. I find that to be easy. And then I don't have to worry about rights. I don't want to get a letter from a lawyer ever. I know people that's happened to. Here's some other places to go: Big Stock Photo, Vault. Free images, they have free ones. And if you're creating videos, the same thing goes with the music. You got to be careful that you want to use music that is available to use. You don't want to use, the intro to Stairway to Heaven in your music, because you'll get sued one way or the other. So, mobile friendly template. You want to think about the mailman is coming and the dog is barking. So you want to make sure that your your template matches your message, and you got to understand that people are going to be looking at this on a laptop or on their mobile phone, and over half of them will be looking at it on their mobile phone. So I don't know if the mailman might be walking up to the door. Excuse me, I hate to do this. Ah! My deep apologies there. We'll edit this out of the recording. Yeah, we got a package. So now, what can I say? I've been working at home for 12 years. I have a big basement, and I save a lot of money that way. So anyway, here we go. Make sure your brand is consistent. This is really important in anything that you do. And if you think about it and you stick to it, it shouldn't be a big issue. I've found that it's not too hard to be consistent. But there we go. Running upstairs real quickly. So here we have, talking about newsletters, announcements, promotions, different timing, and different mobile templates here. Keep it simple. That's the key. If you look down on the bottom, you'll see that everything is pretty simple. It's not really crowded and tight, that type of thing. So consistent with logos and branding colors, images as well. Images of your business, products, people. Use consistent language. And this again goes back to what I was talking about before in terms of reusing content or repurposing content. If you set it once on one medium, you can copy it and send it on another one. Usually he's pretty good, but today it's going to be a loud one. So anyway, here you can see mobile friendly, desktop friendly, both of those. So how to get your email opened? Follow this simple recipe for success. Single column template, fewer than 3 images, fewer than 20 lines of text, no more than 3 to 5 links, action above the scroll line. That's kind of like in the newspaper business where you had above the fold, looking at it the same way. So just remember these 5 things, and you will do a lot better in getting your emails opened. One of the things that I see people make a mistake with a lot is that they don't put the name of their company as the sender. And if you're identified as a person, I put my own name in there because I have a small company. There's only a couple of us here, and I'm really the face of the company. But for you guys who are, just meeting me, that type of thing, it may not be the case. And you may wonder, who is Chris Ripley? But, for most companies where there's nobody that would necessarily be the face, make sure that it's the company. Our local economic development folks send out emails, and they may have changed this recently, but they would send out emails with the name of the administrative assistant in the from area. And I got to think that you'll get a lot more open rates if you put Charles County Economic Development versus the name of a person who many of us might not know. So that is really important. Your subject line, is it worth reading? The Obama campaign in 2012 did a lot of research on maximizing emails for fundraising. And they had one email that produced $5.7 million. One email, 5.7, they raised, 800 million total or something. And this is a small percentage, but they had a lot of emails. And all this one said in the subject line, this is all it said was HEY, hey. And I remembered getting it, and I opened it because I was just curious, and it comes from Barack Obama, and it says, hey. It was kind of shocking. And so you don't have to make them that short, but short subject lines are good. Um, Timing, when was it received? Do B2B customers are more open to open emails at certain times than B2C customers? With our service provider clients, we often send them out on Fridays. So on Saturday, when you're thinking about doing things around your home, you remember that email and you'll call. And you want to make sure that whatever you send them out, that within the next 24 to 48 hours, that there is going to be somebody that'll answer the calls if they're going to make calls, or if you have a web form, it's not quite as important. You want to have some automation that's going to follow up there. Easy share options. Can I send this to friends? So if with my lawn care guy, are they going to know? I was just talking to Joe, and he was saying how great our lawn looked, and I'm going to forward him the email of the company and let him know that these are the guys that help make sure our lawn looks great. So that's an important factor as well. So make your from name and the from email recognizable, like I was saying. You want to stand out of the crowd. More than a third of people open email based on the subject line. So you want to make sure that you have a subject line, like I was talking about before. Is the material worth reading? Identify your purpose. Be clear. Be clever. That's good. People appreciate clever, and they like to get a little laugh if they can do it. So use teaser text. Customize the message. Choose your words wisely. Check your spam folder. Use the spam check button. You don't want to use all capital letters, excessive punctuation, and symbols. That'll all get you caught up in a spam folder. So you can see here some of the words that might be triggers to that. Free being a high one, urgent being a high one. Whoops. So, you can see some of those. A trick that people use, and this is proven to get higher open rates. It's purely up to you if you want to use it or not. But if you put RE with the colon, like you're replying to an email, that'll get you a higher open rate. I'm not saying that it's ethical. It's just proven that it gets a higher open rate. So, think about the mobile device, and you should be previewing all of your emails on a mobile device. And if you still have a flip phone, maybe you need to go to Target and buy a cheap Android phone. You can get them for like $30, and you hook them up to your network, and you can check them out that way. But have some way that you can look at your emails on a mobile device to make sure that they look good. Key thing, the third line on here, the pre-header. Those of you who have Constant Contact are able to control what shows up in the pre-header. And we're really particular with our customers who use Constant Contact to make sure that the words that we put in the pre-header are going to try to entice them to open on their mobile devices. And even for me, I see the pre-header info on Gmail on my desktop computer as well. So the pre-header is extending your subject line where we take the first few words that are showing up in the body of your email, and they show up in the first line with your subject line in your email reader. So if you could put something in there, we often try to put words describing an offer that would be in the email. So if there's a coupon for 50% off your second entree at a restaurant, put that in there so they'll see that right away. We have a client that's a hotel and conference center, and we'll often put, free dessert or whatever it might be in there because that will entice people to open as well. It's another way to look at it. Use that pre-header text wisely. Create a master schedule, how often, whatever you said you're going to do, weekly, monthly. Coordinate timing across social channels for maximum impact. When it's urgent, let's say you got a special sale or you got a, thinking back 20 years, you just got a shipment of Beanie Babies in and you want to let people know. And like we talked a little bit about this before. When does your audience likely to read it? Pick a time. Here we're talking about Tuesday and Wednesday being good days. We find for business to business that a lot of business owners read emails on Sunday. Maybe you sit down on Sunday evening and go through your email so you don't have to deal with it on Monday morning. And we get great open rates on Sundays and Sunday evenings for B2B. We find that B2C, we do a little bit of testing. And like I was talking about with one client, we do it before the weekend. With other clients, we do it on the Tuesday, Wednesday deal. It depends. So, and here's constant contact research. There's is it in here? No. There's a big report that Constant Contact did, and I encourage you to get it. If you search for email open rates on Google, just do a Google search for email open rates. It'll take you to the Constant Contact report. It'll be in the top 2 or 3, and that'll give you, where these were the times that they found worked best for different organizations. So you can take that, and that gives you a starting point to start, to go with. Select 2 different, this is what's called A/B testing. A/B testing. Select 2 different audiences. You can try like your A through M's and your N's through Z's or whatever balances it off. They say that's not always random and that sort of thing, but that's a good place to start. Pick a couple of different days of the week and see which one opens at the best rate, and then do the same on one day with different times. Play around with it a little bit and see what you get, and then stick with that for a little while and then test again. But that you just got to test to find out when the best times and days of the week are. Social sharing buttons increase click-through rates by 158%. So make sure that you think about that as well. That's something that you can do within Constant Contact. Put on the share bar, ask people to like, share, retweet, pin if you're using Pinterest, add the social media buttons, as well. So there are a couple of other ideas on things that you can help as well. Then you want to track your results, and that's where people sometimes miss the boat. Know what reporting matters. Focus on the click-through rate. Really, you want to focus on click-through rate because that's what's going to get you dollars and cents. That, if you're trying to sell something and people are clicking through, that's going to get you more action. And use your data to make your next decision. Keep focusing on it and improving it. Everybody knows that, reporting will help you, have an advantage and help you retain customers. The other thing to think about on this, in email, we're talking about, just a little aside, if you don't have Google Analytics on your website, you need to do that as well. And that's the subject for another webinar. But if you don't have Google Analytics on your website, you need to get it on there. And again, go to Google and Google how to install it. And if you can't do it yourself, try to find somebody who can. And I can help you with that. I would even maybe do it for free. If I'll do with everybody, I'll do a half an hour consultation for free when we're done here, and we could learn how to do that. So, open rate indicates who's interested. Can be triggered automatically and be a false positive. People can be going through their emails and accidentally open. Click-through rate shows who's engaged. Only shows individual recipient action, so it's a rather narrow way to look at it. And shares illustrates the content your audience finds most valuable, but it may be only part of the story if it doesn't include a click. Opt-outs tell you what's not working, and bounce rate helps keep your list healthy and email deliverability rates high. And you should be checking your bounce rate all the time and cleaning up your bounces so it stays pretty low. Oops. Oh, no. That was a slide of the trackpad. So if those of you who have Constant Contact, here's where you can find click-throughs. When you get the clicks, then you get a list of people. You can see where they clicked. What we do with clients, again, I'm going back to my lawn care company because they don't mind me sharing stuff. But if we include a video in our email about, at this time of the year, we're coming to the end, but we're doing lawn renovations. If we include a video in there and 28 people click on that video to learn about how to renovate their lawn, those are 28 prospects. We'll call them up. We can go in and, if you click on the numbers there, it'll take you to a page where you'll have the list of people who've clicked on that. If you click on the 2, you can find who clicked on the Pinterest links, and that will tell you they're interested in whatever that link was, and those are prospects for what that is. Maybe if it was if we, with the lawn renovation link, we had 28 people click, they're all prospects for lawn renovation. So, whoops, because I hit backwards there. So here's a little matrix on metrics. And, if you've got a high open rate, make it even better. Best times, best keywords, segment your audience by interest. Low click-through rate, you may need to have a stronger call to action. Check your mobile friendliness and keep your email short. High click-through, low open, timing and frequency, high click-through rate. Make it even better, format links to stand out, give them a little color, that sort of thing, segment your audience again. So those are just different things that you could look at to try to fine tune once you get a handle on what the metrics are. So pay attention to who's opening. Those are obviously people that are interested in your product or service. So there we go. Have it a little, there we go. So go through that. See who's clicking. Those are going to be your super fans. So there may be 44% click-throughs, but it may be being done by 10% of the people. So those would be your real super fans. So let's put it all together here. You have an advantage. Your customers love you. You have to think about that. That's why you want to use your email lists. Think about 3 simple steps to get started. Get your contact list together, no matter who it is. when I was talking to the attorney this morning about her list, she has Outlook, and she's got a couple hundred people in her Outlook list, and she emails many of those people regularly. So we can certainly start emailing those people and ask them if they would like to receive regular emails from us. We're putting a list together. We're going to focus on different topics within the law, and we'd like to know if you're interested in hooking up with us. So we can certainly do that, and that gets you started. You just got to get started more than anything else. So here's an ideal email you can see on here where it shows up. You've got, a strong subject line. You've got Half Moon Yoga. The person would know what that is. You've only got a few links in here. You got a nice graphic above the fold. So these are things that almost anybody can do. So I always jump ahead. They've got the share on there, mobile-friendly template, brand colors, and all these things are relatively easy. Pictures, like I was talking about, less is more, not a lot of text. Call to action. What does the yoga studio want you to do? They want you to sign up. And if you delete it and you're not interested, that's great. I can't make it to any of those classes, but next week there'll be another email, and if you can make it, you'll click on the sign up that time. So that's why you got to do it on a regular basis. Certainly, Half Moon Yoga Studio needs to do it weekly. This is what you got to try to do. Nurture relationships with regular emails. Deliver on your promises to what you say you're going to do in your emails, and then get measurable results. So I want to ask people now. I know I've lost a few folks here, but I'm curious to see who's a constant contact customer, because just like to see, for those of you who are left, who's a contact. Oh, I got the poll's going, so. Okay, everybody, I think everybody's voted. Well, I'm going to say now, and this is kind of the little bit of a sales pitch that'll go on during the webinar. We've gone through. I hope that the people that remain feel like they learned something. And like I said, I have a recording of this. I'm going to email everybody a link with the recording if you want to go back and watch it again, or if you're interested in some help. We do a great thing in that for anybody, we will do one email a month, just like in the format that you saw, for $99 a month. So it really takes that off your list. It makes it a lot easier for you. We will sit down once a month with you, plan out what we're going to do for the next 4 weeks, and create one email a week for your business for $99 a month. So sometimes that's 4 in a month, sometimes that's 5 in a month, but anybody will do that, both if you have constant contact now and you just want to, you're tired of doing it and you want somebody else to do it, we'll do that for you. And if you don't have constant contact and you're interested in learning a little bit more about it, it'll take me about 5 minutes. You can stick around, but if you already have constant contact and you're interested in some help, like I said, for $99 a month, we'll take doing your email off your plate. We'll real quickly, I can show you on our we create a constant well, if you have a constant contact account, that's great. We'll do an email each week, send it to you for approval. Upon approval, we'll schedule it for the best time, and we'll meet monthly to plan out your email for you. So if you're interested in having somebody do it yourself, you can just go to strategicmarketinggroup.com, and on the homepage, if you see there we go. You can this link is right on the homepage. Email marketing newsletter for only $99 a month. You can sign up for our email newsletter if you'd like on our website, and we can also, do your local score if you'd like. But only $99 a month for that. So with that, the people who have Constant Contact are free to go or stick around. And I'm just going to take a few more slides here and show people what's available to them. So for people who don't have Constant Contact now, we can give you 60 days of free use of constant contact, and that includes all the elements: email marketing, online surveys, live polls, Facebook social campaigns, online coupons and deals, donations, and event marketing. So if you're interested in trying Constant Contact, now is a great time to do it, because you can get it for 60 days for free. And all you have to do that is text Christopher. Text Christopher. They gave me a long keyword to text to 9900 and that 99000. And then it's going to give you a form to fill out to sign up for the 60-day free trial. And once you sign up for it, I'll get with you and I'll help you with your import of your list, help you create your first email, give you some ideas on how to create content for email so you can see, your 60-day trial. Your 60-day trial includes free coaching and support. Once you get started, we'll reach out to you and help you with it. You saw the numbers. There's no question that email marketing is the best way to get started marketing your business. And this is really a great way for you to get started doing email marketing. It really is. There isn't a more resistance-free way. If to use a free service, it might be a little bit cheaper, although this is free for 60 days, but you're not going to have the coaching and support. And with Constant Contact, you get that all the time. And that alone is worth a little bit every month. So I encourage you to think about it. If anybody has any questions, you can raise your hand and I can unmute you, and you can ask your question if you'd like. We're going to be wrapping up here. I'd like to thank everybody for being on. It's 3:00 and time to wrap up. But if you have a question, raise your hand and I'll open it up and we can talk. Or with that, we're done. And I thank everybody for attending. Have a great day and a great weekend.